Тоді тютелька в тютельку.
Да.
Прям всі навіть не дихають. А можна вопрос на засипку? Ми будемо, як по сценарію, пані Інна, кусочок українською, кусочок англійською, чи все англійською? Я просто перший раз на...
Ні, у
Ні,
нас...
так як по сценарію офіційні документи ж вони ж читаються українською мовою, а ми з вами те, що
У нас
communication...
просто китаянка українською захищалась, бо вона так володіла, і другий теж українською захищався. І, ну, якби вони володіють і так внятненько. То я...
Ні, ну то ви дуже багато сьогодні хочете.
Ні, я просто так спитала.
Щоб українською? Ні, я тут похвастатися хотіла, що вони в вишиванках в нас були, а ви таке контрольний в голову. Та у нас взагалі захищаються українською.
Усе, що ви ж зараз говорите, воно ж вже йде в прямий ефір. Ви ж бачите, що і запис, і... Тому все, що ви кажете, може бути використане проти вас. Давайте, розпочинаємо, Наталія Валеріївна.
Наталя
Так, а ну
Валеріївна.
що збивається? Мене добре чутно?
Да,
Так.
добре.
Добре? Добре, ага, бо щось це. Так, ага. Так, колеги, добрий день, всіх вітаю. Сьогодні у нас 16 травня 2023 року, 14:00, і дозвольте розпочати засідання. Відповідно до рішення вченої ради Сумського національного аграрного університету номер 5 від 17 жовтня 2023 року та наказом ректора номер 153К від 29.03.2023 року в Сумському національному аграрному університеті утворено спеціалізовану вчену раду для прийняття до розгляду та проведення разового захисту дисертації Інь-Хаянь на тему управління підвищенням якості життя людських ресурсів в Китаї і англійською Management of Human Resources Life Quality Improvement in China. На здобуття ступеню доктора філософії в галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. Склад спеціалізованої вченої ради. Голова ради Стенець Наталія Валеріївна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри менеджменту імені професора Любові Іванівни Михайлової, Сумський національний аграрний університет та офіційні рецензенти Данько Юрій Іванович, доктор економічних наук, професор, проректор з наукової та міжнародної діяльності, Сумський національний аграрний університет, Харченко Тетяна Миколаївна, кандидат економічних наук, доцент кафедри менеджменту імені професора Любові Іванівни Михайлової, Сумський національний аграрний університет та офіційні опоненти Аджман Ірина Анатоліївна, доктор економічних наук, професор, завідувач кафедри менеджменту і маркетингу, Одеська державна академія будівництва та архітектури, Ганущак Єфименко Людмила Михайлівна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри менеджменту, Київський національний університет технологій та дизайну, посади членів спеціалізованої вченої ради вказані на дату захисту дисертаційної роботи. Прошу зареєструватися, шановні рецензенти та опоненти. Дякую, що ви зареєструвалися. Отже, на підставі реєстраційної картки присутні 5 членів спеціалізованої вченої ради із 5 затверджених наказом ректора номер 153К від 29.03.2023 року. Тобто кворум необхідний для засідання є, і ми маємо всі офіційні підстави для того, щоб розпочати засідання. Засідання спеціалізованої вченої ради оголошую відкритим. Сьогодні на порядку денному захист дисертації на здобуття до ступеня доктора філософії, аспірантки кафедри менеджменту імені професора Любові Івановни Михайлової Сумського національного аграрного університету Інь-Хаянь на тему управління підвищенням якості життя людських ресурсів в Китаї. Management of Human Resources Life Quality Improvement in China. Роботу виконано в Сумському національному аграрному університеті. Науковий керівник, доктор економічних наук, професор Сохань Інна Віталіївна. До спеціалізованої вченої ради надійшли такі документи. Заява щодо проведення атестації здобувача, копія першої сторінки паспорта громадянинки Китайської Народної Республіки, копія диплома магістра, витяг з наказу про зарахування до аспірантури, засвідченої в встановленому порядку, академічна довідка про виконання відповідної освітньо-наукової програми, висновок наукового керівника, доктора економічних наук професора Саханіни Віталіївни, висновок про наукову новизну, теоретичне та практичне значення результатів дисертації, дисертація в друкованому та електронному виглядах, відбитки копій наукових публікацій, зарахованих за темою дисертації, засвідчені у встановленому порядку. Усі документи відповідають встановленим вимогам. Дисертація до захисту подається вперше. Хто за запропонований порядок денний? Прошу голосувати. Хто за? Так. Хто проти? Немає. Утримався? Немає. Пропозиція приймається. Дозвольте зачитати біографічні дані аспірантки. Інь-Хаянь, 1982 року народження, громадянка Китайської Народної Республіки, освіта вища, закінчила у 2009 році Циндаоський океанографічний інститут, Океанський університет Китаю, місто Циндао, провінція Шаньдун, Китайська Народна Республіка, за спеціальністю бізнес-менеджмент. Аспірантуру закінчила у 2022 році Сумський національний аграрний університет Міністерства освіти і науки міста Суми. Дисертацію виконано в Сумському національному аграрному університеті Міністерства освіти і науки міста Суми, і тема дисертації затверджена на засіданні вченої ради Сумського національного аграрного університету, протокол номер 7 від 26 грудня 2018 року. Інь-Хаянь завершила виконання освітньо-наукової програми у 2022 році. 2 червня 2022 року відбулася публічна презентація дисертаційного дослідження на кафедрі менеджменту імені професора Любові Іванівни Михайлової за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент, де дисертацію було рекомендовано до розгляду та захисту у разовій спеціалізованій вченій раді. Основні наукові положення та результати досліджень за темою дисертації опубліковано у 8 наукових працях, з них 3 статті у фахових наукових виданнях України, всі включені до міжнародних наукометричних баз даних, 2 статті опубліковано у наукових періодичних виданнях Організації економічного співробітництва та розвитку країн, які включені до науково-метричної бази даних Скопус, 3 тези в матеріалах наукових конференцій. Наукові публікації відповідають вимогам пункту 8.9 порядку присудження ступеня доктора філософії та скасування рішення разової спеціалізованої вченої ради закладу вищої освіти, наукової установи про присудження ступеня доктора філософії, постанова Кабінету міністрів України від 12 січня 2022 року номер 44. Дисертація відповідає вимогам наказу МОН України номер 40 від 12.01.17 року про затвердження вимог до оформлення дисертації та порядку присудження ступеня доктора філософії та скасування рішення разової спеціалізованої вченої ради закладу вищої освіти, наукової установи про присудження ступеня доктора філософії. Постанова Кабміну України від 12 січня 2022 року номер 44. Чи є питання у членів спеціалізованої вченої ради?
Немає.
Із здобувачем погоджено, що захист дисертації буде проводитися англійською мовою. To present the main result of the research, the word is given to graduate student Inь-Хаянь. Inь-Хаянь, would you like to present your material, please?
Okay. Could you hear me?
Yeah, everything's okay?
Yes. Okay, I will show my presentation about my dissertation. Good afternoon, professors. My name is Inь-Hayan. My supervisor is Ina Sukhan. It's a very great pleasure for me to have the opportunity to defend my dissertation today. My topic is management of human resources life quality development in China. Next, I will introduce the content of my dissertation from the following aspects. The first is the research basis, second, research contents, third is research results and analysis, and the last one is a list of publications. The first one, I selected this topic for the following reasons. The development of society and the progress of medical technology have improved and enhanced our quality of life. And the lifespan of human beings around the world has also been greatly improved. While enjoying the convenience brought by social development, we also have to face some problems, just as China's aging problem is becoming more and more serious, which is around the attention of our government departments. As we all know, China's population is aging quickly. Thus, in 2010, the population aged 60 and over was more than 10%, and China received the status of an aging society. By the end of 2021, the number of people aged 60 and over reached 2,070 million, accounting for 19% of the total population, a 9% increase from 2010, according to the World Bank. The aging of Chinese society will accelerate in the next 20 years. By 2014, the number of elderly people aged 60 and over will reach about 420 million, accounting for more than 13% of the population. As China's elderly population continues to grow, so does the number of people requiring long-term care. At the same time, the traditional Chinese family model has changed. Families are usually small. Young people don't want to live with elder people. And from this picture, we can see that the number of elder people in China is increasing year by year. When the burden of family patient is too heavy or even unable to bear the situation, the state and the society have to be responsibility for the quality of life of the people. That's why I choose this topic. And the dissertation is devoted to the study of managing the development of human resources by methods of long-term care and improvement of the quality of life. By studying the experience of developed countries such as the United States, Germany, and Japan, a basis was built for choosing a model and developing a system for the introduction of long-term care insurance in China. This as one of the methods of improving the quality of life, taking into account the characteristic of local social security and increasing the safety of life for the elderly. And from this picture, we can see research methods of life quality development of human resource in this dissertation. This is the research method of life quality development of my dissertation. And from this picture, we can see the research idea of life quality development of human resources in my PhD thesis. Long-term care insurance as a method of improving people's living standards in the United States, Japan, and Germany has achieved success, with China as a case study. We just studied for a few years. The history of the introduction of long-term care insurance in the United States, Germany, and Japan was found to have many common features. And this purpose of the study is to learn from foreign experience and establish a long-term care insurance system which is suitable for China to ensure the quality of life for Chinese people. So in my dissertation, there are 6 research objectives. That is, from analysis of the experience of a national long-term care insurance, we can find different countries have different ways to carry out long-term care insurance and also have their own advantages and disadvantages. And from a study on long-term care insurance participation was conducted in Henan province, China, found, according to the survey, 65.7% of people are willing to participate in long-term care insurance. Through the research found the programs existing in China's long-term care insurance, we found how to make effective suggestions based on the above questions. And regarding the scientific novelty, this study mainly analyzes long-term care insurance through horizontal comparison and surveys the willingness of different populations to participate in long-term care insurance. The influencing factors were analysis the means of questionnaire, survey, and interview. In addition, this study systematically analyzes advantage, disadvantage, and the difference of long-term care insurance in different countries. And through the implementation of long-term care insurance in Pulachi City in China, the problem still existed in the management of quality of life in China. And the third is my results and analysis. The presentation of the results and analysis mainly covers 6 parts corresponding to the research objectives. In the theoretical part of the dissertation, were simultaneously the theoretical foundations were deepened conception and was formed a methodological approach to ensure the management and the evaluation of the effectiveness of the implementation of long-term care insurance as one of the methods of which can improve human resources life quality in China. Based on the study of the experience of commercial and geriatric insurance in foreign developed countries, I proposed the contribution subsidization system, financing mechanism of long-term care insurance in China, and the willingness of Chinese citizens to participate in the insurance. This foreign experience could provide useful reference for this study. And we can see this table. From the table 3.1, we found during the 6-year period from 2015 to 2021, the country's total population increased by 29.34 million, with a growth rate of 2.12% and an average annual growth rate of 0.35%. Although the growth rate is not high, but the total population increase in the past 6 years is basically rising due to the population base. As we all know, we have a large population. So in general, the growth rate of China's population is declining year by year. So the net growth rate of the population has also been declining. So we can see from the table 3.2 shows the number, proportion, and annual growth rate of the elderly population since 1953. First of all, in terms of the number of elderly person, since 1963, the number of elderly person aged 60 and above has been increasing continuously, reaching 264 million in 2020, which has increased by 6 times in the past 17 years. The population aged 65 and over has also maintained a rapid growth trend, except for a slight decline between 1953 and 1964. Secondly, the terms of the proportion of the elderly population, it can also be found that the same growth trend is maintained with the number of elder population. In 2000, the population aged 60 and above accounted for 10.3%, and the population aged 65 and above accounted for 7%. China began to enter the aging society. And from this picture, we can see this 2 table shows our aging trend. And also, we can see this picture. From this picture, we can see that in 1953, China's population aging structure showed a positive pyramid shape. The proportion of young people is larger. The proportion of the elderly is less. It meets the needs of social development. But in 2020, China's population age structure evolved into just like this. It's not a very good structure. It's a spindle pyramid. The current age structure of China's population is mainly characterized by significant increase in the proportion of the elder population, a slightly higher proportion of the young and middle-aged population, and a significant reduction of the young population, showing an elderly population age structure. As can be seen from the graph, China's aging population is still serious in recent decades. So management of human resources level quality development in China is very important. And it is necessary for us to promote long-term care insurance. Through comparative study, I found that the long-term care insurance system of the United States, Germany, and Japan is different. It have advantage and disadvantage. So we can see this figure. And from this table, we can see different countries have a different volume, and they also have their self-advantage and disadvantage. And then at this base, I did a questionnaire. A questionnaire survey and interview are conducted. The SPACE 20.0 were used to record and analyze the data collection, mainly using descriptive statistical analysis, variance analysis, and correlation analysis. The semi-structured interview were carried out to diagnose willingness to enroll in long-term care insurance. And we can see from the figure, we can see my questionnaire, survey, and interview. The first step is questionnaire preparation, and the second step is sample selection and questionnaire distribution. And the last is data collection and analysis. So we can see some from the table. From the table 2.26, we can see the analysis of respondents' character. Through the investigation and analysis, we find that urban residents, no matter what age, are more willing to buy long-term care insurance. No matter what income level, are willing to buy long-term care insurance. So, resident registration, age, income will affect the purchase of long-term care insurance. In my survey, more than 65% of respondents expressed the desire to participate in long-term care insurance in Henan province. Among the forms of care, respondents choose a home form of care compared to special geriatric facilities and the cash form of payment for professional payment of service prevailed. In addition, the study revealed that the population's willingness to introduce long-term care depends on the location of the household, the age of the respondent, and the presence of people with physical or mental disabilities in the family. Also, income, number of children, and other factors. For example, people with a ban are more willing to support long-term care insurance than people from rural areas. Also, in the course of the study, it was found through regression analysis that concern about the quality of life of the elderly population and the confidence that the government can create an ideal long-term care insurance system to extend the demand for long-term care insurance. Summarized above, it can be noted that with such problems of long-term insurance implementation as just like in our country, we have these problems, lack of legal framework, caretaker funding, inconsistency in the standards and criteria for assessing the need for care, the lack of proper competence of professional personnel for long-term care, and so on. So to solve this problem, we must do some suggestions. These suggestions can be create an ideal long-term care insurance system to cope with aging by following methods. Just like to promote simultaneous for carriage of urban and rural residents by the system of commercial geriatric insurance. To improve the legislative level of long-term care insurance. And also we can do some expanded funding channels. For example, allow distant relatives to pay for long-term care. and master scientific and technical means and create uniform standards for assessing the needs of human resources. Optimize it and create professional teams of nurses. And also, at the same time, the institutional content must satisfy both the interest of society as a whole and the individual subject of insurance protection. So in this way, people willing to buy or willing to take part in the long-term care insurance. At this time, the continuous aging of the population will inevitably lead to the surge of long-term care needs of the elderly. If there is no special system to deal with the long-term care needs of the elderly, it will inevitably occupy medical and pension resources, which will seriously constrain the sustainable development of the social security system. So we must have this. We must have the long-term care resource. We must participate this system. At present, how to make the elderly happy in their old age is a compulsory subject for every country. In China or maybe in Ukraine, we also need this. So we must do this system. The establishment of a long-term care insurance system can't be accomplished overnight, but must go through continuous reform and improvement, which will be a long process. It can be performed for 6 years or a long time. The main goal of the study was to actualize public interest in this issue. Therefore, the practical signification of the research lies in the involvement of specialized experts from all types of insurance, in particular medical, social service providers, in the development of a mechanism for implementing the best examples of what experience in geriatric insurance as a method of improving the standard of living. This is my result and analysis. And the last one is the list of publication. It includes 8 articles. Among them, there are 2 articles indexed in Scopes and Web of Science. This is my list of publication. And about this is my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
Okay, thank you, Inhayan. Yes, the report is complete. Please ask question. First will be Professor Danko Yuri.
Thank you very much, Professor Stoyanets. First of all, thank you, dear Inhayan, for your report and for your research. It was really very interesting to read your dissertation, your thesis.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And after your report, I have some questions about methodology of your work. First of all, what was the main purpose of your PhD research? Why you decide to take life quality development as a topic for your research?
Thanks, Professor, for your question. With economic development and advance in medical technology, as we all know, the life expectancy of the population has increased. At these years, many people they are aged for 90 or 100. So at the same time, the proportion of the elderly in the total population is rising because of declining birth rates. So China's population is aging at an accelerating rate. But at the same time, due to the smaller family structure and the increase of life expectancy, long-term care of the elderly has become a social problem. This study aims to introduce long-term care insurance as one of the methods to improve the quality of life in China by learning from the experience of developed countries such as the USA, the Germany, and Japan. And at this basis, campaigning the characteristic of local social security. we want to improve the security of life of the elderly. Choose the model and formulate to lay the foundation. Once the basic needs of life are guaranteed, the quality of life should be improved so that we can live with dignity. So I choose life quality development. That's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. It's good answer. And one more question for you about the principles which you decide to use in your dissertation. Explain me, please, why you decide to choose. What principles did you choose? For excuse me, what principle did you use for choosing countries for compression life quality development? And could you implement some of these approaches to the Chinese situation?
Thanks, Professor. I chose the 3 typical countries. As we all know, China launched the long-term care insurance system later, but China has a very large population, and each province in China and each city have different level of development. At this time, we only have 15 pledged cities in the first place in China. Our government wants to, from this pledged city, aiming to promote the system in the whole country through the pledged cities. Because, as we all know, China and Japan are similar in culture and system. So the current long-term care insurance system in China is similar to that in Japan, which adopts social structure. So that's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It's good answer for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I invite Professor Харченко Tatiana.
Okay,
Ask
thank you.
question.
I'm not professor, I'm just PhD associate professor, maybe in future. Okay, so at first, I want to ask, thanks a lot for your presentation for results of scientific research. And I would like to ask the questions. So the first question is, one part of life quality development is long-term insurance. Is it popular in China?
Thanks, Professor, for your question. As we all know, long-term care insurance is a new type of insurance in China, so it's not very popular. Only some people call it the sixth insurance because it is a new type of insurance. It is not very popular in China, and only some people or some area they buy long-term care insurance. So our government has launched pledged cities with the aim to expand it to the whole country. But as we all know, you want to buy this insurance, you must afford this. You must afford this. And some people, they don't have this ability, so they don't buy this insurance. That's my answer. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you for your point of this question. And the next, what methods of life quality development do you suggest expect long care insurance?
Okay, thanks, Professor, for your question. Considering that some low-income groups are unable to afford long-term care, so a long-term care allowance system for the elderly can be established. So our government has also implemented a system of 5 guarantee and subsistence allowance. This mainly want to help disabled elderly people in difficult living situation and to take care of people who live by themselves, who have lost the ability to work. And these people, they need our government's help. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm satisfied with the answer.
Thank you very much. I invite Professor Irina Ajman.
Thanks. Hello, thanks. It's very important research for the China economic, and I want to ask some question. The first, can you please more deeply to characterize the complex of scientific methods that you choose for research?
Thank you, Professor, for your question. In this dissertation, I may use two methods. Compare case study method and questionnaire service method. As we all know, comparative case study is a method to study and judge the degree of individual similarity or difference. According to certain standards, two or more cases are investigated to find their similarities and difference, and then explore the general law and special law. As we all know, I choose the three countries: Germany, Japan, and the United States. And the second method is questionnaire survey. Through the questionnaire survey to understand people's willingness to participate in long-term care insurance, and also through the survey to discover the influential factors affecting people's participation in long-term care insurance, so as to provide a theoretical and factual basis for the government to implement the long-term care insurance system. And I take a questionnaire in Henan province and in eight cities. The cities use the questionnaire survey. So this is my answer. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good answer, and I have enough. And I have second questions. What do you see as the problem of an aging nation for China economy? What measure of state and non-state influence do you see for solving the problem?
That's a good question. Thank you, Professor. And these people mainly studies the negative effect of a population aging. I just studied the negative, not the positive effect. And also we all know the aging population also give positive effect. But I just studied the negative effect, just as population aging reduces the number of labor force, and the aging population restricts the technological innovation of industry and affects the adjustment of in the industrial structure. And also, population aging increases the burden of social and family patient. To some extent, the aging of a population will reduce the influence of social order. And we want to change this population. We want to change this situation. We will improve the existing social patient and medical insurance system and turn service into domestic demand. The establishment of a new diversified patient model and our government patient to the whole people, adjust the rate of working age appropriate, improve the quality of the labor force, and also we make full use of the talented resources of the elderly and give full play to the capacity of the elderly. And some people, as we all know, they retire from their management of their, and then they can find another job in another company or in another unit. So after, when they retire, they can also have some work, some job. That's my answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I haven't any questions.
Thank you. I invite Professor Людмила Ганущак-Єфіменко, please.
Good day, colleague, and thank you very much for you in Haiyan for your background research. I have two small questions for you. The first question, and one from the picture, you showed the comparison table between USA, Germany, and other countries. Could you implement some approaches to the China situation today? And the second question I ask later.
Okay. Thanks, Professor, for your question. And as we all know, long-term care insurance system in USA, Germany, and Japan is different. The long-term care insurance system adopted by the United States is a business model. It's the business model you can pay if you can afford. And the Germany is the mandatory long-term care insurance. And Japan is a social insurance long-term care insurance. China and Japan are both Asian countries. As we all know, we are in Asia, we have many similars in culture and system. But China has its own national conditions and characteristics. So it is not possible to just copy the successful experience of the three countries. So instead, our government developed a management model for the development of long-term care insurance in China. This insurance should be worked out according to the actual condition of China, so as to ensure the improvement of the economic potential of the population under the condition the development. So we have our own system. It's different from the USA, Germany, and Japan. However, we have some similar with Japan, but it's not the same.
Thanks for your answer. And second question for me, you study 1 year in Ukraine. Why you don't take our country for comparison analysis?
It's a good question. At the beginning, I intended to use Ukraine as a comparative study. But for one thing, it's very difficult for me to collect relevant data in Ukraine. I don't find this data. It's one thing. And on the other hand, in today's world, the long-term care insurance system of the United States, Germany, and Japan are the most technical. So many research on many countries, they just studied or researched this three typical model. So I also choose these three countries. That's my answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Maybe it will be a future research scientific comparison analysis from Ukraine and adapted to China's. Yes, in future.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, scientific community. Let's me ask a question for Hin-Yuan. Can you please more deeply to characterize the complex of scientific methods that you choose for research?
Thanks, Professor, for your question. And this question is similar with another professor, Irina Azama. And I mainly use two research methods. This namely comparison method and questionnaire survey. And the questionnaire survey I used have some questionnaire. I do this and choose more than 200 questionnaire and to understand people's willingness to participate in long-term care insurance. And also through this survey, I discover the influential factors affecting people's participation in long-term care insurance. So I use this to know how to study the willingness of the person. And the second method is comparative. I use the USA, Germany, and Japan to study and judge the degree of the individual similar or difference. And from the comparer, I found different countries have different advantage and disadvantage. They also have different aspects in long-term care. That's my answer. Thank you.
Okay, and one more question, please. Can you please describe the situation of aging population in China? Do they have state support for the possibility to work in age 60 plus?
Thanks, Professor. It's a very good question. And as we all know, China's aging is increased. And also they have the situation is not positive. And as we all know, China's aging population continues to increase with an obvious aging trend. According to the 17th census, the population aged 16 and above in China reached 264.2 million in 2020, accounting for 18.17%. And also, the aging of the population has accelerated significantly from 2010 to 2020. The proportion of the population aged 16 and above increased by 5.64 percentage points. And that of the population aged 65 and above increased by 4.63 percentage points. So it is here to cope with the aging population. Our government has provided pensions for the elderly by establishing social pension insurance. In contrast, the pension insurance for urban and rural residents is relatively low. At present, China's younger aged between 16 and 69 are more willing to find jobs after retirement. And most of them are engaged in agriculture, forestry, husbandry, some fisher, and other industries. And also, the elderly in rural areas, in particularly, have to work to make ends meet despite researching the age of 60, because they don't have a regular income. So they must work. They must work after their retire or after they are 16 years old. That's my answer. Thank you very much.
I'm satisfied. Thank you. No more questions? Okay, thank you. Inhanya, now you have some minutes rest. Let me acquaint those present with the council about the scientific novelty, theoretical and practical significance of the result to the thesis. Шановні колеги, маю оголосити висновок про наукову новизну, теоретичне та практичне значення результатів дисертації аспірантки кафедри менеджменту імені професора Любові Івановни Михайлової Інхаянь на тему управління підвищення якості життя людських ресурсів в Китаї, Management of Human Resources Life Quality Improvement in China, подано на здобуття ступеня доктора філософії з галузі знань, 07 управління та адміністрування за спеціальністю, 073 менеджмент. Повний пакет документів є в матеріалах справи, тому я не маю сенсу витрачати час, тому хочу зачитати і сказати основне. Звісно, не викликає у нас сумнівів щодо актуальності теми дослідження, так як сама робота присвячена управління розвитком людських ресурсів, методом високого підвищення якості життя, вивчаючи зарубіжний досвід Японії, Китаю, Америки, Німеччині, щодо зв'язок роботи з науковими програмами, планами та темами, то, звісно, вона виконувалась відповідно до плану науково-дослідних робіт Сумського національного аграрного університету. Мета завдання дослідження теж все виконана. Немає сумнівів щодо наукової новизни одержаних результатів. Робота, висновок має теоретичне, практичне значення. Так, хотілося б зупинитися на використання результатів роботи. Основні положення були оприлюднені автором на конференціях, семінарах, нарадах, інноваційні процеси економічного, соціокультурного розвитку, вітчизняний та зарубіжний досвід, міжнародна наукова конференція менеджментів в Полтаві, сучасний менеджмент, тенденції, проблеми та перспективи в розвитку Дніпро. Всі авторам дисертаційної роботи було особисто проведені теоретичні та методологічні дослідження, розрахунки та отримане підтвердження результатів, сформулював висновки, рекомендації, готував до друку матеріали дослідження. Перелік публікацій за темою дисертації, то їх опубліковано 8 у наукових працях, 3 статті у фахових виданнях, усі включені до міжнародних науково-метричних баз даних, 2 статті опубліковано в періодичних виданнях країнах, включені до науково-метричних баз даних Scopus, 3 тези в матеріалах науково-практичних конференцій. Немає питань щодо структури та обсягу роботи. Під час виконання, хотілося б зазначити, що під час виконання дисертаційної роботи та навчання в аспірантурі Сумського НАУ аспірантка проявила високий рівень наукової підготовки, теоретичних та практичних знань, практичних навичок засіль спеціальності 073 менеджмент, вміння розв'язувати складні наукові задачі, які були поставлені на початку дослідження. Також Інхаянь у нас володіє сучасними методами дослідженнями, де ми всі переконалися, коли вона презентувала свої результати, наукові здобутки. Володіє також пакетами прикладних програм для проведення досліджень, володіє 2 мовами, як уже питали, ми завжди питаємо здобувачів, чи пам'ятаєте ви українську мову? Do you remember some words from Ukrainian language? Інхаянь.
Yeah, yes.
Пам'ятає, да. Тобто інхаянь можна характеризувати як працездатну, наполегливу та інноваційну особу. І хочу зачитати основний висновок і вважати, що дисертаційна робота інхаянь на тему управління підвищенням якості життя людських ресурсів в Китаї англійською Management of Human Resources Life Quality Improvement in China написана англійською мовою, оформлена відповідно до діючих положень, норм і правил, встановлених Міністерством освіти і науки України, подано до захисту спеціалізовану вчену раду на здобуття доктора філософії з галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування, за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент за своєю актуальністю та науково-теоретичним рівнем, основними результатами обґрунтованості, основними положеннями і практичним значенням, відповідає вимогам наказу МОН України номер 40 від 12 січня 2017 року про затвердження вимог до оформлення дисертації та постанові Кабінету міністрів України від 12 січня 2022 номер 44 про затвердження присудження ступеня доктора філософії та скасування рішення разової спеціалізованої вченої ради заклади вищої освіти наукової установи про присудження ступеня доктора філософії із змінами, внесеними згідно постановою Кабінету міністрів номер 341 від 21.03.2022 року. Так, і we begin the discussion, the dissertation by work in Hayan. I invite a review to speak Professor Yuri Danko, Doctor of Economic Science, Sumy National Agrarian University. Are you welcome, Yuri Ivanovich?
Thank you very much. Professor Steinitz, everybody can find my review on the official website of our university, and all necessary things are included in this document. Now I want only discuss some most important parts, and first of all about actuality, about the topic of dissertation, about the topic of this thesis, PhD thesis. I want to say that quality of human resource is very important part of competitiveness of social and economical system. My scientific school are named competitiveness of social economical systems in different levels. And when we talk about the China is the high level of macroeconomy, and human resources and quality of life, these human resources, is part of this competitiveness. And I'm very glad, I'm very happy that you choose this topic for your research, because it's really very, very interesting and very actual. I want to talk about some debatable parts of your dissertation that I find during reading, during work with your thesis. First of all, I want to say about that in the theoretical part of the dissertation, of your dissertation, you describe normative and positive approaches to the theory of public goods, improving the quality of life of the population, with the inherent characteristic of China, without mention non-economic factors of social interaction. It's first. Second, when we talk about the subchapter number 2.1, in this subchapter, speaking about the international experience of managing the improvement of quality of life of human resources, you notice the criteria for the development of the standard of living that are used in various countries of the world. However, it should be analyzed which of them can be used in modern Chinese realities and which unfortunately. Next, when formulating formulation proposals for strategies and measures to manage the improvement of the quality of life of human resources of the People's Republic of China, it would be appropriate to use visualization tools, drawings, diagrams to visualize the formulated provisions. Now I talk about subchapter 3.3. Next, during the analysis of this existing methodological approaches to the formation of indicator system for assessing the level of quality of life, it would be appropriate to demonstrate their shortcomings and advantages, making a generalization at the end. It's subchapter number 1.3. In chapter 3, in chapter number 3, page 107-140, it was necessary to dwell in more detail on the question on which on the developed scenarios for the possible social and economical development of human resources is the most appropriate in the condition of People's Republic of China. And last, to illustrate the problems of the introduction of long-term insurance in the China, People's Republic of China, certain statistical data of the result of expert assessment could also be provided. It's subchapter number 3.2. However, the indicated comments are vicious, do not fundamentally affect an overall positive assessment of the dissertation work, are not fundamental, and do not reduce its rather high overall assessment. And my main opinion about your work. Dissertation work of on topic management of human resource life quality improvement in China, which was submitted for defense to a specialized economic council for obtain a degree of doctor philosophy, field of knowledge 07 management and administration, specialty 073 management. In terms of its relevance, scientific and theoretical level, main results of validity, main provision and results published in professional publications, novelty of setting a practical significant meets the requirements of the order of the Ministry of Education and Culture of Ukraine, number 40 of January 2017, and resolution of the of the government of Ukraine dated January 2022, number 44. And concerning the discussion of the one-time specialized academic council of the institution of higher education, scientific institution on advancing the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, from change introduced in accordance with resolution of the Cabinet of Ministry number 341 dated 21 of March 2022. The content of dissertation correspondent to this passport of the specialty. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Inhayan, you are given the opportunity to respond to comments that have been posted in the review.
Okay, Thank you, Professor. Your comments are very important for me, and I will take into consideration them for future research. But I would like to respond to some of them. Regarding the point 2 raised by Professor, long-term care insurance system plays an important role in improving the quality of life. Section 2.1 aims to summarize the experience of implementing long-term care insurance in typical countries in the world, so as to provide reference for the implementation of long-term care insurance in China. However, there are certain differences in the social culture and economic development level of different countries. The implementation of long-term care insurance in China should adhere to the direction of socialization and uphold the way of sharing premium, and should not use a single standard. Just copy the advanced experience of other countries is not a good way. And China's long-term care insurance is suitable for China's national condition and accepted by the Chinese people. So must have our own system. And in response to point 5, put forward by Professor, as we all know, the cost of long-term care insurance is relatively high, which brings a heavy burden to the family. So in this situation, the government has the responsibility to diffuse the economic risk to family care by establishing social insurance. In particular, as we all know, China has a very large number of disabled people. From the exploration and practice experience at home and abroad, the establishment of a long-term care insurance system is a major institution innovation. This innovation is to cope with the challenges of aging population. It can't only meet the main needs of long-term care for the elder, ensure their safe and happy life in old age, but also enable young people to devote themselves to work, stimulate the development of the nursing industry and the related employment. In this way, we can promote economic and social development. That's my answer, Professor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, dear Inhayan. I am satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you. Your help for me. I invite a review to speak. Professor Tatiana Harchenko, Doctor of Philosophy, Sumy National Agrarian University. You are welcome, Tatiana.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity to review the work. The full review is attached to the materials of the certification case and is attached to the website of Sumy National Agrarian University. Therefore, I will introduce the main points of the review. So, improving the human resources life quality is a strategically important direction of support and modernization of sustainable development. It's necessary to manage the life quality, which is again more and more important in modern conditions. It's reflected in the application, development, and regulation of state policy, and also ensure the creation of the environment that gives people the opportunity to live a long, healthy, and creative life. Therefore, it's urgent to improve experience, to develop new methodological approaches in managing the improvement of the quality of life of human resources to achieve healthy aging, which has become important not only for the Chinese government, but also for the entire society. The dissertation was carried out in accordance with the directions of research work of Department of Management of Sumy National Agrarian University. It's based on the implementation of the best practice of the development countries of the world. The main results found that in the process of establishing and developing the long-term care insurance system, there are many common points such as supporting legislation, establishing eligibility institutions, establishing a failure rating and evaluation standards, which have important reference value for the establishment of a long-term care insurance system in China. There are differences in the operation of long-term care insurance, including individuals, employees, employers, and the government in financing the object of payment and the government's responsibility. Each model does not have a simple standard in terms of treatment and payment, with some models prioritizing cash payment and other favoring in-kind payment. The level of treatment in the commercial insurance guide is determined by the premium, while the level of treatment in the social insurance regime varies depending on the level of economic development of the country, and the level of treatment in the mixed regime is higher. Conclusions of the dissertation are logical, well-founded, consistently reveal the content of the research conducted in the work and the results obtained, in accordance with the tasks and the purpose of the research. The main scientific provisions and results of research on the topic of dissertation have been published in scientific papers and were made public by the author on conference, seminars, meetings. So, and noting the overall sufficient level of scientific achievement on the author, it's necessary to know certain discussion points and comments. The first, in assessing the author continuously contribution to theoretical knowledge in the area of quality of life of human resources, it would be advisable to consider in more depth such categories of concepts of human resources, quality of life management, and human development. So, considering the first and the second chapters, the author leaves out the study and justification of the criteria for the selecting factors that affect the life quality of human resources in China. The next one. Given the subject of the research, it would be more appropriate to focus on the theoretical part and describe in more detail in the project part the implementation of management functions, including planning, controlling, organization, motivation, in improving management human resources life quality. We consider that it would be appropriate to supplement the study in the third section 3.3 with project calculation of the proposed long-term care model or development scenario. The next one, when studying the problem of introduction of long-term care insurance in China, section 3.2, the author should have provided additional visualization tools which would be held more beneficial for the visual presentation of the material. Given the content of figure 3.5, it would to fill in the figure itself with the title as a scientific approach to the implementation of long-term care within the framework of management of human resources life quality. And the last, it would like to find more reflection on the promotion of juristic insurance in China as a method of improving the life quality, taking into account the features of local social security. However, the above comments and suggestions don't fundamentally affect the overall positive assessment of dissertation, and the expressed wishes are aimed at expanding the scientific field in the studied issue. So, and conclusion, the dissertation work in Hanyang, in terms of its relevance, scientific and theoretical level, main results of validity, main provisions, and results published in professional journals, novelty of statement and practical significance meet requirements of the resolution of Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine and Ministers of Education number 40. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you. Are you given the opportunity to respond to comments that have been posted in a review, please?
Okay, thank you, Professor. Your comment is very important for me, and I will take into it for my future research. But let me answer for some of them. The first, regarding the point 3 raised by the professor, the management factor is very important, as we all know, and is crucial in all aspects. In the future, I will incorporate the management factor into the research of human resource quality of life. However, in this dissertation, are mainly focused on how to improve the living difficulties of elderly through long-term care insurance, mainly from three aspects: fundraising, coverage, and source channels of long-term care insurance. So there is no detailed description of the implementation of project management function. In future research, I will include research on management functions. Regarding point 7 raised by the professor, at present, China's long-term care insurance is exploring tourist stage and has not been promoted nationwide. Just a few population they have by this insurance. It has only been piloted in 15 cities. There are certain differences in the qualification, recognition, treatment level, and the funding sources of long-term care insurance in different pilot regions, which are in line with the specific realities of each region. Therefore, the systems adopted by different pilot cities are also different. As we all know, the long-term care insurance system in Qingdao, Nantong, Shanghai, and Changchun, there are 4 typical cities. They are not completely the same. They have the different, and this different system reveals the difference and the contradictions in the implementation process of the process method to improve population life. This ensures to some extent the rapid implementation of long-term care insurance. And I also agree with the comments of the professor, and I will use them in my subsequent research work, and maybe in my next paper or my next semester work, I will use them. Thank you very much. It's very useful for me.
Thank you. I'm satisfied. Thank you.
Thank you. Are you satisfied with this answer? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, yes, I'm.
Okay, we continue. I invite an official opponent to speak. Professor Irina Ajman, Doctor of Economic Science, Odessa State Academy of Building and Architecture.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
The full text of my review was published on the website of Sumer National Agrarian University, and I will be shortly. Faced with many challenges related on the aging of the population, it is important task for Chinese society to realize the concept of healthy aging, which consists of the reasonable and efficiency use of social results, helping to elderly to enjoy a healthy and happy life. In other words, the key of promoting healthy aging is to improve the quality of life of older people. Nowadays, quality of life is not only a medical concept, but a complex concept that encompasses manufacture, such as physical and mental health, material and culture needs, family and society. Thus, in the conditions of the aggravating trend of population aging, the issue of the finding a key to control aging with the help of target pension service and increase the development of healthy aging of the elderly to promote the construction of the harmonic society becomes ancient. This determines of higher degree of relevance and times length of the selection of the topic of in-Haiyan dissertation. Scientific and practical significance is beyond doubt. Of the basic of fundamental and approach research, the content subsidy system, financial mechanism of long-term care, insurance of the China, and the wellness of Chinese citizens of participate and ensure development of process based on the study of the experience of commercial generated insurance in foreign development countries. In main scientific provision and result of research on the topic of the dissertation were published on 8 scientific works, including 3 articles of the specialized scientific publications of Ukraine, all included in international scientific scientimetric database. 2 articles were published in scientific periodical of the Organization for Economic and Development, which are included in the Scopus. Included in the Scopus scientific metric database. 3 theses in materials of scientific conference. The present dissertation work of Inhanyan has a logical structure. Its content fully reveal on the topic of scientific research. The dissertation work is developed to the study of managing of development of human research by method of a long-term improvement of the quality of life. By studying the experience and using the lessons of development, countries such as the United States of America, Germany, and Japan, a basis was built for choosing a model of development system for the improving of long-term care ensure. Ensure is one of the method of the improving the quality of life, taking into account of the characteristic of local society, security, and increasing the safety of life for the elderly. In general, after reading the dissertation and scientific publication, there is reason to state that the applicant managed to solve the task and achieve the goals of the dissertation research. The tasks are correlated with the point of the scientific novelty, and accordingly, the ways of solving the task chosen by the author, the original. All of the above allow us to state the sufficiency on the validity and reliability of the main provision, conclusion, and recommendation of the dissertation work. Despite and positive impression from reading the dissertation and author's publication, one should be attention to the present of certain shortcoming and debatable provision, namely. The first, the analysis of literary causes in paragraph 1.1 and 1.2 would be expedient to be carried out according to the central classification of scientific approach or taking into account chronology. The second, the dissertation proposes a conceptual model of improving the quality of life of all segments of the population, especially vulnerable ones, through the implementation of a long-term strategy of organization, instrumental and economic support of the appropriate state policy with the simultaneous modernization of the scientific approach to the function of the change, increase the quality of life, increase needs, and economic growth. However, the statement of this planning process in society is debatable because the author reasonable recognize the influence of the external environment factors such as labor market trend, state regulation of environment. The author proposed the adoption of the National Action Plan of the aging of the Chinese nation in the form of the Targeted Start Program based on the experience of the United States of America and Germany. But my opinion, not all Western principle of work can be implemented due of difference in mentally and state creation. In subparagraph 3.2, the author notes a number of problems of the implementations of long-term insurance as one of the models of improving the quality of life of the Chinese population, but doesn't indicate ways to solve them. And the clause, finally, in subparagraph 3.2, it would be advisable to conduct final calculation of the cost of state and regional budget and the implementation of the national Arctic plan for the improving equality of lives of China's human resource household cost and project benefit from the proposed long-term insure for the elderly population. In general, dissertation work of In Haiyan on the topic management of human resource life quality improvements of China, which was submitted for difference of specialized academic council for obtain of doctor's degree of philosophy from the field of knowledge 07 management of administration by specialty 073 management in terms of its relevance, scientific and theoretical level, main result of variability, many provision and result published is professional publication, novelty of the setting and practical significance means of requirement of the order of the Minister of Education and Culture of Ukraine number 40 of January the 12, 2017 on the approval of the requirement for the preparation of the dissertation and resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine dated January the 12, 2022, number 44, on the approval of the procedure for awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and cancelling the decision of the one-time specialized academic council of the institution of higher education, scientific institution of awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from changes introduced in accordance with the resolution of the Cabinet of Ministers number 341 dated the 21 of March 2022.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, In Haiyan. You are given the opportunity to respond to comments that have been posted in review. Please.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Your comments are very important for me. In my next step, research, I will take into it, but I would like to answer some of them. Regarding point 3 raised by the professor, as we all know, China, the United States, Germany, the level of economic development, social and cultural is different, and it's very great. And China's implementation of quality of life improvement plan cannot be copied. However, the quality improvement plans of the United States, Germany provide China with many references in terms of system coverage, financing released, qualification, recognition, and other aspects. Based on the experience of the United States and Germany, long-term care insurance in China is successfully implemented. Currently, China's long-term care insurance system is well promoted. This is regarding for the point 3, and regarding point 4, raised by the professor, section 3.3 puts forward relevant countermeasures to solve the problem, such as improve the legislation level of long-term care insurance, expand capital source channels, improve the legislative level of long-term care insurance, and also we can expand the capital source channels, absorb scientific and technological means, and create unified standards. However, the countermeasures in this paper can be relatively macro. This is just macro without classifying urban and rural areas, and just put forward the solution for all groups. I don't have the details classified. But at the next step, I will make detailed supplements according to your suggestion in the later stage. And I agree with the professor's comments. I will use them in my subsequent research work. And thank you very much, dear professor. Your comment is very important. I will consider it in my next research. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Professor Irina, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, thank you. I'm satisfied your answer. Thank you. Enough.
We continue. I invite an official opponent to speak, Людмила Ганущак-Єфименко, Doctor of Economic Science, Kyiv National University of Technology and Design. Please.
Thank you. Dear colleagues of scientific community, the full text of my opportunity review is in the set of documents on defense, and it was also in time published on official Sumy National Agrarian University websites. That's why let me just describe the highlights of this dissertation works. The need of transition to a model of sustainable development caused by modern economic reality is related to the rate improvement of the quality of life of all segments and population, and development and human research. This requires a long-time strategy of organization, instrumental and economical support for the implementation of the appropriate state policy when the assimilation, modernization and scientific approach. That's why ensuring the functions of the chain, increasing the quality of life, increasing need, growing the economy is vitally necessary in modern conditions. The dissertation work was devoted to the study of management or the development of human research by methods of long-term improvement of quality of life. But studying the experience and using the assets of development country such as the United States of America, Germany and German, a basic was built for choosing a model, the development of system for the introduce of long-term care insurance in China as one of the methods of improving the quality of life, taking into account of characteristics of local social security and increasing the safety of life for the elderly. On the basis of fundamental and applied research were development for the context, substance system, financial mechanism on long-term care insurance in China, and the willingness of Chinese citizens to participate in insuring and proposing based on the study for the experience of commercial guaranteed insurance in the foreign development country. Also have been improvement of theoretical and methodological approach, the application of the long-term program of guaranteed insurance, which are based on the principle of the broad benefit and provide by the strategy of personal-oriented development of human research. Thus, the solution of the number of social economy insurance were identifying factor effective of implementation for a long-term care insurance system in each pilot region, reduce the economy burden of the part of the elderly, activation the social function of the management of process of development of the provides economy, increasing the effectiveness of distribution of medical and pension research. Theoretical fundamentation was systematized concept were defined and methodological approach for forming the ensuring the management and evaluation on the effective of the implementation of long-term care insurance as one of the methods of improving the quality of life in human research in China. This scientific provides in conclusion and recommendation obtained from the research result and sustainable and reliable. This dissertation is characterized by a clear adherence to structure and logical scheme of the research of a correspondent of scientific research, the provision ensuring for the protection and scientific knowledge to be set goal in the specific text and research. The dissertation student used a sufficient number for information search from open details, regularity and legal literature, statistical and analytical materials. the results of the research and other recommendation held underground practical testing, which is confirmed by relevant documents. The above is a wide of scientific level of validity and reliability of research or scientific research conclusion and proposal. On my opinion, is provide to note that this central departing point of dissertation work. The first, during the development of the pilot stage of long-term care insurance, the dissertation student identified many problems such as complement, coverage on rural health resides, and consent and criterion for assistable disability for minimum criterion for the need for carrier, existing depends of health insurance funds of decisional of authors to collect fund management and significant gap between of the other of professional assistance service at the actual demands. The mentioned problems are quite significant of the context of improving the quality of life and human research in China, so ways of solving this should be proposed. The second, in order to minimization the negative consequences on the demographical change, the dissertation work based of analytical studies, expert opinion, and research for a scientific basis provide do need to rethink the goals of tools of policy and field of improving the quality of life and development human research. One of the options for a complex solution was the adoption of national action plan and aging the former targeted state programs. These documents even in declaration form because an confirmation and understand to complexity for ensure an intention to the situation of the elderly, which made it possibility to set the task of qualifying new format, included with the involvement of public assistance and donor funds. But the assessment would take a complement form, taking into account foreign experience and recommendation for international organization. Due to the weakening of function of family care for the elderly, the problem of caring for elderly Chinese is transformation to socially, but provision of social institution to elderly is not sufficient. Currently, elderly care service provided to child health facility and geriatric nursing homes and male devoted to physical and daily care for the elderly. But the doctoral student note that the attention is paid to such services as psychological assistance, social interaction, and awareness of dignity, which important to some time wielded for the elderly. In the engine, elderly care facilities in China generally have many problems, such as low service level, few types of services, low cost efficiently, professional quality, and staff providers elderly care services, high accessing project before services and other. There is considered expanding in this care not only for fixed problems, but the other official ways to eliminate that. Therefore, the authors used the experiments of United States of America, Japan, and Germany as the basic for development of systems for improving the quality of life with human research. However, the success of problems of each country, development long-term care services system can become useful source for the creation and development of systems to improve the quality of life of China. But due to the national condition and characterization of China, it is not proven to just copy successful experience to this country, but to develop a modern management of development of long-term care insurance in accordance with actual condition in China, which is condition is sustainable development with ensuring to increasing the economic potential of population. But all these remarks I have listened have only a recommended nature and do not affect of all repositioning assessment of this dissertation work. That's why In Haiyan and dear Ino Sohan, thank you very much for your background research and general conclusion for your dissertation work. Dissertation work in Haiyan on the topic management of human research life quality improvement in China, which was submitted for defines to a specialty academic council for obtain a doctoral degree philosophy from the file of knowledges 0 sim management and administration by specialty 073 management. In terms of the relevance, scientific and theoretical level, main results and validity, main provision and result publishing in professional publishing, novelty of the setting and practical signification. Means of recommendation on ADAF Ministry of Education and Culture of Ukraine number 40 of January 12, 2017 of years on the approval of the requirement for the preparation for dissertation and resolution of the Cabinet of Ministry of Ukraine date January 12, 2022 number 44 on the approval of the procedure for awarding to degree of Doctor of Philosophy and consent the decision of the one-time specialist academic and council in the institution of a high educational scientific institution of awarding the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from changing introduced and according with resolution of Cabinet Minister number 341, 21 of March 2022. Thank you very much for your dissertation and for very good work for your supervisor Inna Sohan.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Inha Yan, you are given the opportunity to respond to comments that have been posted in official review, please.
Okay, thank you, Professor. Your comments are very important, and I will take into them in future research. But I would like to answer some of them regarding point 1 raised by the professor. In this paper, it was proposed to consider geriatric insurance as a symbiosis of health insurance with social care and even sometimes with social integration. And in China's domestic realities, with number of elder people will only increase over time. The development of long-term care insurance will become more and more relevant. The system of long-term geriatric insurance proposed in the study is based on the principle of broad benefit, which is provided by the strategy of person-oriented development of human resources, which can be combated by the following methods. First, to promote simultaneous full coverage of urban and rural residents by the system of commercial geriatric insurance. Second, to improve the legislative level of long-term care insurance. Third is expand funding channels. And the fourth, must scientific and technical means and create uniform standards for assessing the needs of human resources. The last one is optimize it and create professional teams of nurses. At the same time, the institutional content must satisfy both the interest of society as a whole and the individual subject to insurance protection. And regarding point 4 raised by the professor, the long-term care insurance of the United States, Japan, and Germany has made achievements, which is an example for China to learn. However, China has its national condition and particularity. So we can't copy the successful experience of the 3 countries. We must establish long-term care insurance with China's actual condition. In this way, we must establish our long-term care insurance system must be based on national conditions, advised to choose a mode of social insurance according to the disability grade standard, compensation for ineligible, disabled, or provide and care services. And at the same time, attention should be paid to the development of nursing services. As we all know, we don't have enough nurse and don't have about the enough service for the elderly disabled people, especially to the training of nursing personnel. But we don't, many of the people, they don't want to do nurse just as they know the work is not very good, it's tired, and the salary is not very high. So we don't have enough nurse. The development of home nursing and community nursing service is developed by nowadays. We can take care of a disabled or old person at home. They don't want to go to the hospital or go to the especially special treatment. So we must do this at home. And I fully agree with the professor's comments, and I will use them in my subsequent research work. Thank you very much, my dear professor.
Thank you very much. Are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes, thank you.
Mila, okay, thank you. Dear scientific community, according to the rules of the work of the Special Ed Academic Council, we proceed to the discussion of the thesis of Inhayan. I emphasize that all present members of the Academic Council have the right to take part in discussion. Therefore, I ask those who want to speak out about this work. I hope Professor Yuri Danko wants to be first.
Yes, I want to be first. Dear colleagues, dear Inhayan, today we discuss a really wonderful, interesting dissertation. And the topic of quality of life, life quality of the population is relevant for different countries. However, we know that this is very variable category, and it depends on various indicators. Inhayan choose the highest level for analyze the macro level. But I must emphasize that the quality, the life quality of the populations depends on quality of human resources management and other levels. In particular, it's a community or enterprises level. Another point that I would like to discuss, as for me, it's not enough comparative analysis with Ukraine in this dissertation work, in this thesis. Also, the dissertation is defended in our country, yes, in Ukraine. I hope that in future, Inhayan not leave this topic, and you continue to work in this direction, and your research will help us, will help Ukraine to restore Ukraine after our victory.
Okay.
And last, thank for good report. I will support your work and vote for the award for your degree of PhD in management. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you. I invite Tatiana Harchenko, please. Your opinion.
Okay, so I would like to emphasize that the topic is very relevant and multifaceted. However, in Inhayan, though the tasks identify problems and propose solutions, I was really impressed by proposed conceptual model of improving the life quality of all population segments, especially the vulnerable, by implementing a long-term strategy of organizational, instrumental, economic support for the appropriate the state policy. That's why they used argumentation in the theoretical, methodical, and practical directions of the research into the scientific validity of the thesis statements and recommendations. So I also want to add that it would be included in compare some data of Ukrainian state life quality of human development. But it's your opinion on your topic, on your problem, or on problems of this scientific research. So I positively support the results of the research and will vote for the award of the Doctor of Philosophy degree, specialty 0773 management. And I want to add that it was nice to see you at your first steps as a PhD student, and now when you are on your final stage for today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I invite to discuss Irina Ajman, please.
Thanks. So after today's presentation, the dissertation, there is reason to state that the applicant managed to solve the task and achieve the goal of the such important task for Chinese society as the realizing concept of healthy aging, which consists in the reasonable and efficient use of social resources, helping the elderly to enjoy a healthy and happy life. The tasks are correlated with point of the scientific novelty, and accordingly, the always of solving the task chosen by the author, the original. The applicant present of material competently, logically, in English is a high level. The content of the dissertation corresponds to its essence. In the process of defense, I got all answer for my questions. All of the above allow me to state the sufficiency of the validity and reliability of the main result, conclusion and recommendation of the dissertation work. Of course, I will vote positive and support in Kayan in the wording for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in specialty 073 management. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I invite to discuss Людмила Ганущак-Єфіменко, please.
Thank you very much, dear colleagues and dear In Hayang. Thanks for your background research. It's so very interesting, and I will be short for my comments. I want to say, as for me, the dissertation research is a logical, complete, clean, and has scientific novelty and practical recommendation. I will support your dissertation, and I wish you the first continuing scientific research next in doctoral program in Sumy National Agrarian University, and wish you be successful on your scientific research. And thank you very much for your supervisor for preparing for report, for your opportunities to be with us today. Thank you, and I will support your next future in scientific research in this university and your country. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And let me say a couple sentences. First of all, I want to say thank you for Ina Sohan to be invite me to be the head of the council, and it's really a very interesting topic in Haiyan. It's really high level, and I want to be fast and very shortly because time it's nearly finished now in China, nearly 9 o'clock in evening, time to bed. Yeah, time to go to bed. And I want to say that really topics is so actually, and that transition to model sustainable development created by modern economic reality connected with direct improvement of the quality of life and all sections of population, especially the vulnerable, and the development of human resources, high level of your research, and of course I support you and my opinion at high level, and of course I will be vote positive. But dear colleagues, we forgot about our scientific supervisor, Professor Inna Sohan. What she's thinking about this?
Thank you so much. And firstly, I would like to say thanks to all members of scientific community, to thank you for your work and for support in Hanyang in the process of defense today. And the full text of my review is in the case file to the defense of this dissertation, and it was published on website, so everyone can read it in every moment. And I would like to know that I started working with In Hanyang only 1 year ago. And on that moment, the topic of the dissertation seemed to me interesting and unique. And despite all the challenges that arose in the process of preparing this dissertation, In Hanyang came out of all difficult situations with great honor. And we always, I know, had managed to find a common language in all discussions. I also would like to know the perseverances of this student in the research process. You all know that writing a dissertation is a lot of work, but writing and defending it in the competent foreign language is a great work. Therefore, taking into account all the positive points and strengths of the dissertation work, which are estimated reviewers and opponents noted during today's defense, I want to ask all members of the Academic Council to support In Hanyang in obtaining the scientific degree of Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 070 Management.
Thank you, my supervisor.
Thank you. Does any
Inna, is it your fourth PhD? Yes.
The foreign, the first, but in general, the fourth.
One more, and we can talk about the scientific school.
We'll discuss with you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. Does anyone also wants to speak? If there are any no objections, I suggest ending the discussion. We are nearly finished, and I want to say, що нами було попередньо розроблено проєкт рішення спеціалізованої вченої ради, тому дозвольте його зачитати. Спеціалізована вчена рада Сумського національного аграрного університету, Міністерства освіти і науки України, міста Суми прийняла рішення про присудження ступеня доктора філософії з галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування на підставі прилюдного захисту дисертації управління підвищенням якості життя людських ресурсів в Китаї, Management of Human Resources Life Quality Improvement in China за спеціальністю 073 Management, Ін Хаян, 1982 року народження, громадянка Китайської Народної Республіки, освіта вища, закінчила у 2009 році Циндаоський океанографічний інститут, Океанський університет Китаю, місто Циндао, провінція Шаньдунь, Китайська Народна Республіка за спеціальністю бізнес-менеджмент. Аспірантуру закінчила у 2022 році Сумський національний аграрний університет, Міністерства освіти і науки України, місто Суми. Дисертацію виконана в Сумському національному аграрному університеті, Міністерства освіти і науки, міста Суми. Науковий керівник Саханіна Віталіївна, доктор економічних наук, професор кафедри менеджменту імені професора Любові Іванівни Михайлової Сумського національного аграрного університету. Здобувач має 8 наукових праць, з них 3 статті у фахових наукових виданнях України, всі включені до міжнародних науково-метричних баз даних, 2 статті опубліковані в наукових періодичних виданнях Організації економічного співробітництва та розвитку України, що включені до науково-метричної бази даних, Скопус, 3 тези в матеріалах наукових конференцій. Таким чином, переходимо до процедури відкритого голосування. Прошу всіх членів спеціалізованої вченої ради проголосувати і озвучити рішення щодо присудження Ін Хаян ступеня доктора філософії зі спеціальності 073 менеджмент. Я голосую позитивно. Данько Юрій Іванович? Не чуємо.
Я включив мікрофон. Мені це нагадує, пам'ятаєте, друга частина «Піратів Карибського моря». Професор Данько голосує за. Я голосую за присудження наукового ступеня доктора філософії.
Наступні члени ради Харченка Тетяна Миколаївна.
Приєднуюся, голосую за. Позитивно
Дякую.
голосуємо.
Ашман Ірина Анатоліївна.
Голосую позитивно.
Дякую. Ганущак Єфименка Людмила Михайлівна.
Я за.
Добре, дякую. Проти немає, 5 голосів за. На підставі результатів відкритого голосування спеціалізована вчена рада присуджує Інь Хаянь ступінь доктора філософії з галузі знань 07 управління та адміністрування за спеціальністю 073 менеджмент. Чи є зауваження щодо рішення спеціалізованої вченої ради? Нема, так? Дозвольте привітати Інь Хаянь з успішним захистом дисертації. Інь Хаянь, let me say the words of congratulation because scientific council today divided you the degree the Doctor of Philosophy in the specialty 073 management. My congratulations. Would you like to say some words?
Yes, I want to something. I would like to thank my supervisor Ina Sukaha. Last year, I changed my supervisor for some reason. At the beginning, I was shocked and unhelpful. But my supervisor Ina used her professional knowledge. She revised my paper and gave me many constructive suggestions. So I thank for her very, very much. And also, I thank all the professors for giving me advice. I will continue to improve in the future research. Thank you, all of you.
Дякую. Шановні колеги, на цьому засідання спеціалізованої вченої ради вважається закритим. Дякую всім за роботу. Дуже було приємно з вами познайомитися, попрацювати. Дякую.
Дякуємо
Щиро
вам,
навзаєм.
Наталя